Listen, let's get one thing straight. I've never even heard of Moon Knight until Marvel's MCU adaptation. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the MCU has made me a long-term Moon Knight fan. I think at this point it's safe to say, following the Moon Knight finale, that this character has become one of the most interesting superheroes we've seen in a long time. Personally, I've never heard of Moon Knight until the MCU show, and for that reason, that's why Moon Knight works. Moon Knight's one of those characters you look at and go, holy f***, that guy looks sick. I mean, the dude literally flies in the air, makes a crescent moon with his cape, and uses crescent daggers. Also, first of all, he could talk to gods. What character is doing that? And then on top of that, you get to meet this guy, this gentle human being, this badass, this goat of a character. This man is one of the cleanest and coolest looking characters I have ever seen in any type of superhero show. Like, you see this dude, right? And you think at first he's this badass crime fighting serious dude. And then you find out it's this man, Steven, this lovable, kind dude that has this humor to him that just charms you, you know? I love everything about this guy, but he is not someone that will just randomly just beat someone up for no reason. See, that's Mark on the other hand. But let's calm down on Mark for a bit. See, Steven is this guy that has one of the coolest costumes in all of superhero comics, and he fights like a different type of badass, to be honest. This man straight up jabs you and decides to clean his vest right after that. Now that's fucking OD. Like I said, besides my man Steven, we got my boy Marc Spector. This dude, he's kind of an airhead in a sense, but obviously Steven is the smart one, but Marc is also smart because he was a mercenary and he does treasure hunting. I mean, you know, they balance out. Steven is obviously the smarter one. See, Steven knows about Egyptian gods, he knows about mythology, he knows how to read Egyptian, he knows how to read many languages that Marc would just not know. But besides my man Steven, Moon Knight just felt refreshing and exciting. It took a deep dive, or what it seems to be like at a surface level, into a character I would say not a lot of bozos like me know about. I grew up watching the MCU ever since the original Iron Man came out. When I was younger, I would read these comic books like the Avengers comic book I would find in the library, but I never would pick up this comic called Moon Knight. I didn't know about it. I never knew what to look for, and I think that's why the show did a really nice job making this character seem so appealing to people that don't know who he is. Now, to be honest, when I first started the show, I knew nothing going into it. I just knew what Moon Knight looked like. I knew this Mr. Knight character because he was in Fortnite. Yes, screw me, I knew it because of Fortnite, okay? I kept getting killed by Mr. Knight, alright? I was pissed off. I decided, you know, let's check Marvel's new show, right? And it comes to find out that Mr. Knight is one of my favorite characters in the whole show. But when I first started off, I was hella confused because I just didn't know what was going on. So when I first started following Steven throughout his everyday life and how he'd randomly black out, it got me kind of thinking there must be more to this character that eventually turns into Moon Knight, which I was correct. When we meet Marc, the story really starts to pick up and becomes this really interesting dynamic. Now, personally, I do not know much about DID or how well or bad the show portrayed it, but I appreciate Marvel for trying to showcase that mental health condition for people that might not know much about it. I know Moon Knight has been this character in the comics for a long time, and I know these altercations are not new, but it's nice how Marvel portrayed these two characters. I love that Marc and Steven had these separate personalities and acted completely different but complemented each other's weaknesses. Like, for example, Marc knows really nothing about gods, whereas Steven knows so much because that's what he loves to research. In essence, this alone makes Moon Knight, or Marc Spector, one of the funnest and enjoyable characters I've watched in a long time. One of my favorite things of the show was the lore between the gods in general. I always loved learning about mythology just because when I was younger, my 6th grade teacher would literally spit on you if you didn't know your gods. Personally, that caused a lot of stress probably in my life, but I got to learn about some cool mythology. If you like fantasy or anything related to, I guess, the mythical creatures, you'll really enjoy the show, and because of that, I did. Listen, man, I'm simple-minded. I grew up on Percy Jackson. You tell me there's gods, there's mythical items, and I get to see the gods fight each other? Sign me up. Also, Egyptian art always looks the coolest, and when these gods take from it, it's one of the sickest things in the entire story. Listen, man, I'm not gonna lie, my man Khonshu just looks sick. Listen, man, I remember seeing Khonshu for the first time in the elevator and thinking, holy is this show going FNAF on me? Now, I'm kind of a zoomer, but I was shitting my pants, I'm not gonna lie to you. This dude just looks fucking sick. Minus the jump scares, this guy is wicked. And then at the end of the show, we get to see a kaiju fight between him and Ammit, which was just sick to watch. But the thing I love the most, honestly, about Khonshu is probably the philosophy behind his character. We know that Khonshu makes people Moon Knights because he wants them to get rid of the evil in this world in his eyes, right? But the villain in the story, Arthur, ends up summoning Ammit, which is a god that kind of has the same values as Khonshu in a sense, but Khonshu allows them to have a choice while Ammit judges them before they can do evil. I think it's really interesting. Oh, Khonshu is kind of this asshole of a character, right? I mean, he wants the evil people to get what they deserve in his eyes, but even if you think that, you know, maybe in the future they could come back, have this change of heart, right? Have that character development. But Khonshu's like, nah, the character development.
We do not care.
We do not care. Khonshu just literally will kill someone if they think they're doing evil. And, you know, I don't know if I respect that. In a way, Khonshu's kind of hypocritical. And at the end of the season, we get to see how Marc ends up having this choice to not go along with Khonshu's doing, because having a choice is the most important thing you could do in life. It makes you different. It makes you free. Which leads me to another reason I love this show, is the fact that somehow Marc has another alter named Jake. I kind of saved him and Steven and his wife while almost dying to horror. This character Jake has this like strong New York accent that reminds me of this young dude that grew up in a mafia-like household. And oh boy, does this guy just seem intriguing. He is like Marc in a sense where he isn't afraid of a fight, but like Steven in the sense that he is just smart, intelligent, and kind of cunning like Marc. I love how the show leads you to believe that Marc has found this peace within him and can finally live a normal life with Steven, but that's just not the case. It's crazy how the story kind of becomes full circle. At the start of it, Steven hated his life because he never understood why he would wake up in random places and wake up days later not knowing what happened to him. This dude literally chained himself to a bed, and that's because how serious it was for him. But then at the end of the show, it is revealed that he just wants to be a hero with Jake. He wants to fight crime without Marc knowing, and it's just kind of crazy because at the beginning of the show, like I said, Steven just would not stand for such a life like that, but now he can. That's just storytelling at its finest and character development that makes the show want people to keep watching and even read the comics, to be honest. And I'm really interested in how Moon Knight Season 2 will play out, and how Marc will end up finding out about Steven's literal secret, because we are led to believe that Marc is giving Steven hold of the body, when in reality, it's Steven giving Jake hold of the body to do Khonshu's bidding, so they both could be superheroes together. Like, they literally say that. I think that's sick, and it's something that's really interesting because it kind of creates this, I don't want to call it love triangle because they're all the same person, but this triangle, yeah, it's pretty much a love triangle. They just don't love each other. They just, yeah, it's a love triangle. What am I talking about? And honestly, let's not forget the show has some of the nicest aesthetically looking shot scenes in a long time. One of the most memorable ones for me is when Steven is reversing the stars with Khonshu, and god man, it just looks like some amazing CGI work. Definitely made people work hours, even days on probably. I applaud the show for even making me want to read some of the Moon Knight comics, because this Steven and Jake duo seems to be too fun not to. I mean, hey, I was gonna watch the show anyways, like I said, because Fortnite. I swear Fortnite has been getting me into so many things. I'm playing Sakura and Street Fighter because of Fortnite, okay? She has a fireball, she's amazing, and I'm telling you, she's a really good character. I'm telling you, Street Fighter is definitely not one of my addictions right now. It's I fucking hate that game. Anyways, watch the show if you even have an interest in Egyptian gods, because I'm kind of going crazy. It's kind of, what time is it? Oh god, my brokerage statement's available. It's 4:35 a.m. May 5th. I don't know when this video is going to be out, but if you like Moon Knight, watch it. The finale came out literally 2 days ago. If you're not watching it, you're missing out, because Moon Knight's good, and I'm rambling now. So I'm going to end the video because I've been recording for 18 minutes. Bye!